Well, folks, it seems like we're stuck in a political time loop. That's right, it's Trump versus Biden 2024. This time it's round two, and the stakes higher than ever. In one corner, you have Donald the Donald Trump, the Twitter-happy tycoon with a penchant for rallies and red hats. In the other corner, we have Sleepy Joe Biden, the seasoned politician known for his love of aviators and ice cream. The 2024 election is more than just a contest between two men. It's a battle for the soul of America. On one hand, you have Trump's Make America Great Again movement, which promises to return America to a perhaps mythical golden age. Political analyst. On the other hand, you have Biden's message of unity and hope. One thing is certain, this election will be a referendum on the past 4 years and a glimpse into the future. Hold on to your hats, folks, because Donald J. Trump is back in campaign mode and he's not holding back. This time around, Trump's message is a potent cocktail of nostalgia, grievance, and a hefty dose of "I told you so." He's painting a picture of America in decline under Biden, a nation overrun by socialists, swamp creatures, and radical left-wing agendas. He's hammering home the message that America needs to be saved, and he's the only one who can do it. One of Trump's biggest challenges this election cycle is navigating the baggage of his past.
Trump, of course, denies any wrongdoing and claims that he's the victim of a witch hunt by the Democrats and the media. He's also trying to deflect attention away from his own controversies by focusing on Biden's perceived weaknesses, such as his age, his gaffes, and his son Hunter's business dealings.
It remains to be seen whether this strategy will work again in 2024. While Trump is busy whipping up a storm at his rallies, Joe Biden is taking a more low-key approach.
He knows he's facing an opponent who thrives on chaos and attention, and he's determined not to get dragged into the mud. Instead, Biden is trying to project an aura of calm, competence, and experience.
Biden's message is one of unity, healing, and a return to normalcy.
Biden's campaign is a delicate balancing act. On one hand, he needs to energize his base, particularly young voters and progressives who may be disillusioned with the slow pace of change in Washington. On the other hand, he also needs to appeal to moderate and independent voters who may be turned off by Trump's antics, but are also wary of radical change. One thing's for sure, Biden can't afford to run a purely defensive campaign.
One of Biden's biggest challenges is breaking through the noise and capturing the attention of the American people.
In the age of social media and 24/7 news cycles, it's difficult to get people to focus on policy details and long-term visions when they're constantly bombarded with sensational headlines and viral videos.
Trump might be a lightning rod for controversy, but there's no denying his ability to dominate the news cycle.
How do you compete with a walking, talking headline?
Biden's campaign strategy also involves highlighting his track record as vice president under Barack Obama.
However, this strategy is not without its risks.
Moreover, Biden's own record in public service, spanning over 4 decades, is not without its blemishes. Biden must find a way to address these criticisms head-on, while also emphasizing his commitment to learning from the past and adapting to the changing needs of the country. It's like watching 2 completely different plays on the same stage. Trump, the showman, thrives on the energy of his rallies, feeding off the cheers of his supporters. His speeches are light on policy specifics and heavy on grievances, attacks on his opponents, and boasts about his own accomplishments. He's trying to appeal to voters' sense of reason and their desire for a return to normalcy after the chaos of the Trump years.
Both candidates are playing to their base, but they're also trying to win over those elusive, undecided voters who could swing the election. Trump is doubling down on appealing to his core supporters, white, working-class voters who feel left behind by globalization and cultural changes. Biden is trying to build a broader coalition, appealing to African Americans, Latinos, suburban women, and young people. He needs to find a way to unite them behind his candidacy without alienating moderate and independent voters.
The youth vote is crucial in this election, as it is in every election. Young people are the future of the country, and they have the numbers to swing the election if they turn out to vote.
Trump's message to young people is simple. You're not better off than you were 4 years ago.
Biden, on the other hand, is trying to tap into young people's idealism and their desire for change. The 2024 election will likely come down to a handful of swing states, just like it did in 2020.
Trump is hoping to repeat his success in these states from 2016, when he narrowly won them by appealing to white working-class voters.
Biden is hoping to flip these states back to blue, as he did in 2020, by mobilizing black voters, Latino voters, and suburban voters. The outcome in these states will depend on which campaign can better turn out its base and persuade undecided voters.
They say the internet never forgets. And boy, is that true for Donald Trump. His past tweets, those 140-character bursts of unfiltered Trump, are like digital boomerangs, constantly circling back to smack him in the face.
Trump's defense? Fake news, he cries, claiming the tweets are taken out of context or, even better, fabricated by his enemies. Whether this strategy will work again remains to be seen. Trump's campaign promises from 2016 are also coming back to haunt him. His opponents are using his record to paint him as a snake oil salesman, a con artist who promised the world but delivered very little. They point to the rising national debt, the trade wars that hurt American businesses, and the chaotic response to the COVID-19 pandemic as evidence of his failed leadership. Trump, of course, has a different interpretation of events.
Joe Biden is trying to turn back the clock to the days of the Obama administration. Remember when America was respected on the world stage? When the economy was humming along? When we had a president who could speak in complete sentences? Biden is banking on voters feeling a twinge of nostalgia for those days.
He often reminisces about his time as vice president, reminding voters of the Obama administration's accomplishments. Section 4. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? Biden's age and long political career, while a source of experience, were also being used against him. His opponents portray him as a relic of a bygone era, out of touch with the concerns of ordinary Americans. They highlight his occasional gaffes and misstatements as evidence that he's not up to the demands of the presidency in the 21st century. They paint him as too moderate, too willing to compromise, too beholden to the Democratic establishment.
Biden, however, is trying to turn his age into an asset, projecting an image of wisdom, stability, and empathy. He's leaning into his role as a grandfather figure, someone who has seen it all and can be trusted to guide the country through turbulent times. He's emphasizing his ability to connect with people from all walks of life, his willingness to listen to different perspectives, and his commitment to finding common ground.
Section 1. Media Mania. Fact-checking the circus. The 2024 election isn't just playing out on the campaign trail, it's a 24/7 media spectacle. Every speech, every tweet, every gaffe, every awkward handshake is analyzed, dissected, and amplified by a media machine hungry for ratings and clicks. Trump, the master showman, thrives in this environment. He understands the power of a good soundbite, a provocative tweet, a well-timed controversy. He knows how to dominate the news cycle, even when it means saying or doing things that would sink any other candidate. Biden, on the other hand, often seems lost in the media whirlwind. He's not a natural showman, and his attempts to connect with voters through traditional media appearances can sometimes come across as stiff or scripted. He's at his best in smaller settings like town hall meetings or one-on-one interviews where he can connect with voters on a more personal level. But those moments are often overshadowed by the latest Trump-induced media frenzy. Section 2. The echo chambers of social media. Social media has only intensified the media circus surrounding the election. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, they've all become battlegrounds for hearts, minds, and those all-important votes. Trump, of course, is in his element on social media. He uses Twitter like a weapon, firing off insults, spreading misinformation, and rallying his base with a relentless stream of consciousness. His tweets often go viral, sparking outrage, debate, and endless news cycles.
Biden's social media presence is more subdued, more focused on policy than personality. He uses social media to share his campaign message, highlight his accomplishments, and criticize Trump's policies. But his posts rarely generate the same level of engagement as Trump's. In the echo chambers of social media, where algorithms feed users a steady diet of information that confirms their existing beliefs, it's harder for Biden's more nuanced message to break through.
Section 3, Public Opinion, America's Mood Swings. So what does America make of all this? Public opinion is as divided as ever. Trump's base remains loyal, drawn to his strongman persona, his promises to restore America to its former glory, and his willingness to challenge the status quo. They see him as a fighter, a truth-teller, a political outsider who isn't afraid to speak his mind, even if it means bending the truth or breaking the rules.
Biden's supporters, meanwhile, are drawn to his experience, his temperament, and his promise to restore normalcy and decency to the White House. They see him as a steady hand, a unifier, someone who can bring the country together after 4 years of division and chaos.
Section 4, the undecideds, America's most wanted. And then there are the undecideds, those elusive voters who haven't yet made up their minds. They're the ones who will ultimately decide the election, and both campaigns are working overtime to win them over. It's a tough crowd to please. They're turned off by Trump's antics, but they're also not entirely sold on Biden.
They want change, but they're not sure Biden is the one to deliver it. They're worried about the economy, healthcare, climate change, but they're also concerned about the candidates' ages, their experience, and their ability to unite a deeply divided country.
So there you have it, folks, the 2024 election, a rematch for the ages, a clash of titans full of twists and turns, highs and lows, and enough political drama to make even the most cynical observer reach for the popcorn. As we stand on the precipice of this momentous election, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will America choose to stay the course with Biden, opting for experience and stability, or will they hand the reins back to Trump, embracing his brand of populist nationalism? As the polls close and the votes are counted, America holds its breath. The morning after the election, America will wake up to a new reality. If Trump wins, expect jubilation from his supporters and dismay from his opponents. If Biden wins, expect relief from his supporters and disappointment from his opponents. No matter who wins, America faces a global pandemic, a changing climate, and deep divisions. The question is, how will the next president address these challenges? The 2024 election is about more than just choosing a president. It's about the future of American democracy. Can we have a government that is responsive to the needs of its people, bridge the partisan divide, and restore faith in our institutions? Can we have a peaceful transfer of power, respect the outcome of a free and fair election, and come together as a nation? The eyes of the world are upon us. The answer lies with the American people.
The world is watching, and the stakes are incredibly high. The decisions made will reverberate far beyond America's borders.
One thing's for sure, the 2024 election won't be the end of the story. It's just another chapter in the ongoing saga of American democracy, a saga that's been unfolding for over 2 centuries. There will be new challenges, new debates, new faces on the political scene, but the fundamental questions will remain the same. What kind of country do we want to be? And who will lead us there? Stay tuned, America. The show's not over yet.